Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be a part of the International Conference in Old and New Indentures here today. And I'm Chandni Tiwari, a doctoral fellow at Center for African Studies, School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University. The title of my presentation today would be Identity of Indian Diasporic Community in Mauritius, from Indentures to Heritage Resource. So at the outset, I would like to highlight that immigration of Indian migrations of indentured labor to work on overseas destination began over the debris of slavery. And it was started in 19th century to meet the shortage of labor supply caused by the abolition of slavery in the British Empire in 1833. In 1834, Mauritius was the first country to import Indian indentured labor. During the 82 years of indentured immigration, over 1 million of Indians were introduced into these colonies. And this resulted in the development of large Indian diaspora, which is spread from Indian Ocean to the Pacific, as well as the growth of Indo-Caribbean and Indo-African population. The independence of Mauritius, which was gained in 12 March 1968, mirrors the socio-economic realities of Mauritius. Mauritius became a republic in 1992 and is home to multicultural society, which is basically includes descendants and immigrants from Asia, Africa, Europe, and practice all major religions in Mauritius. The last ship carrying the indentured workers arrived as late as in 1924 in Mauritius. And the Indians migrated to Mauritius with their cultural traditions, religions, language, beliefs, and castes. They carried their cultural identity with themselves, as well as the food habits, rituals, and traditions. The Indo-Mauritians were one of the wealthiest and the politically most powerful descendants of Indian indentured laborers worldwide. Mauritius, in an exemplification for the true multiplicity of the culture, a rainbow nation that has provided the visibility of Indian cultural riches. So the next slide, I would be talking about the concepts. Basically, I'll be defining the concept that I have used in it. So starting with identity, what is identity? Identity is whatever a person predominantly identifies with, whether it is a country, ethnicity, or a religion. That is a sense of belonging to a community, nation, and culture is an integral part of one's identity. It strongly influences an individual's self-perception, self-conception, and a rationalized relation with a nationality, ethnicity, religion, social class, generation, locality, or any kind of the other social group. Culture informs the identity irrespective of the cause of migration. For instance, the culture remains a driving force when it comes to a forced migration, like that happened for the Indians who were brought as the indentured to Mauritius. Next is the heritage, which can be defined as a full range of inherited traditions, monuments, objects, and culture. Most important, it is the range of contemporary activities, meanings, and behaviors that we draw from them. It is both tangible and intangible, in the sense that the ideas and memories of songs, recipes, language, dance, and many other elements of oneself, and how one can identify themselves as important as the historical monuments and the archaeological sites. Diasporas are the nodes of cultural exchanges, bringing into contact different systems of values, beliefs, and social organizations. Throughout the history and present, diaspora have provided important contribution to economic, politics, and culture of both of their home and the host countries. The strategic use of the network, institution, and support system provided by well-established diaspora structures can enable and enhance successful agency and even for the individual actions. Indian diaspora have contributed positively to the every stratum of Mauritius, including economy, polity, and the society. They have participated in the national movement and made significant contribution into the nation building process. They have also played a key role in the industrialization process of the country. The potential of a diaspora as a resource is closely not related just for the internal cohesiveness, but also with the communities overreaching their ties, relating them to the outside world. So to highlight the above mentioned point of the Indian diaspora as a heritage resource in Mauritius, the most important and significant elements are taken into consideration. And the elements chosen for the study are here language, food, and festival. And these three elements are chosen not just out of the personal affinity, but because they form the backbone to any culture. So first I'll be talking about language. It's the most essential medium to express and transmit one's feelings, expressions, experiences, knowledge to the future generation. Beside performing art forms, the verbal communication and literature is very much important. Language plays an important role when it comes to one parts of or defining one identity and culture. Creole is spoken by 4/5 of the population of Mauritius, and it is the lingua franca of the country. Bhojpuri, an Indo-Aryan language, is spoken by 1/10 of the population, and French is spoken by a small percentage of the people there. Other languages spoken on the island include Hindi, Chinese, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, and Urdu. Mauritians commonly speak 2, 3, or even more languages, and the educational system supports a wide range of language instructions in the country. As we all know, the Mauritius is an indigenous population which has no son of its own soil. So the Indian languages, especially Hindi and Bhojpuri, have been a strong and powerful connector with the Mauritius culture, literature, and values. Initially, teaching of Hindi started in the Batika system, where the values, Indian culture, along with the folk culture and Hindi were disseminated at just one single place. As a symbol of India-Mauritius linguistic affinity, India's President Ramnath Kovind inaugurated a World Hindi Secretariat joint project in Port Louis in 2018 that ensures exchanges in culture, arts, literature, and language between the two countries. The next element here is the food. Food is another distinct part of culture that can be considered and required as an amenity for the human life. But apart from the taste, and the sense of belonging of food with the culture and community cannot be disregarded. The cuisine of the island of the country is a melting pot like the country itself, with Creole flavors and Indian spices coming together as an interesting potpourri. The ubiquitous meal on the run all over the island is dhol puri. Served from the glass case mounted on bicycle, a mix of curry bean, tomato chutney, spicy pickled vegetables wrapped in a crepe-like chapati with a liberal dash of green chili sauce. Then there are familiar dishes, but they're different Creole names, like goti brinjal, that is the eggplant, pakora, piment farci, that is a stub batter fried green chilies. I have put in some of the pictures of the Mauritian cuisine. The influence of Bhojpuri migrants and their tradition is very much clearly visible, and it is reflected in every facet of the Indian Mauritian life, like roti, paratha, bhajia, samosa, are the commonly used words from the Bhojpuri language, and even by those whose mother tongue is English or French. The last is the festival. The easiest way to have a social gathering in and outside India is festivals. Indian festivals are famous not just for the congregation they inspire, but for the collective celebration and festivity. Diwali, Holi, Christmas, Lohri, Dashera, Navratri, etc. are the festivals which have different folklores attached to them. And these folklores constitute an important traditions which are preserved by the Indian diasporic community till date in Mauritius. Most of the Hindu festivals are public holidays, like Mahashivratri is a national holiday in Mauritius. To delve deeper into the Indian connection, Ganga Talao, or the Grand Basin in the south of the island, where a 108-feet bronze statue of Shiva towers over a natural crater lake. There is a picture in the presentation slide where I have shown the Ganga Talao. Locals believe that when Lord Shiva carried Ganges in his hair, few drops fell here. So they have a different emotions attached to it. Next is the cultural developments. There are several institutions established by India and Mauritius to disseminate knowledge about India, Indians, and Indian culture into the Mauritius. The setting up of an Indian culture center in Mauritius was very natural, given that 68% of the total population of Mauritius are of Indian origin. The Indira Gandhi Center for Indian Culture, that is IGCIC, was established in Mauritius in 1987. that implements the cultural exchange program between India and Mauritius. The performing arts taught here are Carnatic, vocal music, dance, Kathak, and Tabla. In addition, there are meetings of Indian Women's Association, Indian Business Council, Indian Alumni Association, and the Mauritius India Friendship Society, as well as lectures and lectures demonstration by the IGCIC teachers. The IGCIC's library has a collection of over 10,000 books on various aspects of Indian history, arts, and culture. The books are available in English, Hindi, and other languages such as Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, Urdu, etc. Mauritius also hosts the World Hindi Secretariat, as I also explained earlier, that to highlight the linguistic affinity between India and Mauritius, Ramnath Kovind inaugurated the World Hindi Secretariat in 2018. Yoga and traditional Indian system of health Ayush are extremely popular among the population of Mauritius. An active network of local socio-cultural organizations and language unions add further strength and vitality to the vibrant people-to-people contact. Next, I would be talking about preservation of culture in Mauritius. So the cultural heritage preservation has always been a priority for Mauritius. Before setting up of National Heritage Fund, which is responsible for safeguarding and management of heritage, it was managed in accordance with the Ancient Monument Act of 1944, which was updated in 1985 through the National Monuments Act. In addition, there are other legislation and regulation that has been enacted in the cultural heritage preservation, which are mentioned on the slides, like Apravasi Ghat Trust Fund, Act 2001, Le Monde Grand Heritage Fund Act 2014, Local Government Act 2011, and so on. Including in the list, Apavasi Ghat and La Moran Heritage are included in the World Heritage Site. With regard to the intangible cultural heritage, the Republic of Mauritius has succeeded in inscribing 3 elements of UNESCO representative list of cultural heritage. Those are Sega Tipik, the Bhojpuri Geet Gawai, the Sega Tambor of Roderick in the year 2014, 16, and 17 respectively. Furthermore, in December 2019, Sega Tambor Chagos has been inscribed on the list of intangible cultural heritage in the need of urgent safeguarding. Apart from these, there are several MOUs for cultural exchanges between India and Mauritius that helps preserving the various cultural affinity that people have in Mauritius. Finally, to conclude, I would like to say that far away from their homes, our Grimitia brothers and sisters underwent prolonged period of trial and tribulations, indigenities, physical and mental sufferings. Long journeys in the ship were extremely difficult and painful. But despite all these sufferings and challenges, the evolution of diaspora population is remarkable. Socio-cultural integration between India and Mauritius plays a significant role in terms of both strategic communication, relationship building, promoting a country's national goals and policies, communicating a nation's ideas and ideals, beliefs and values, and building common understanding and relationship of both the countries. Diaspora as a heritage resource definitely plays certain very important role. Firstly, by creating work opportunities for co-ethics and by linking ethnic work to formal institutions. They contribute significantly to the socio-economic integration and social cohesion of the migrant communities. And secondly, they are considered an important asset in Mauritius. However, the significance of the network is not limited to the ethnic cohesiveness alone. Diaspora are interlinked by various levels of relationship. The Indian diaspora in Mauritius is considered unique and very much significant as they currently make up 68% of the total population, and they have transitioned themselves from our identity of being just an indenture to the dominant diasporic community by dominating the social, political, and cultural facet of the island over the years. Thank you.